Oh, it's a lovely day today.
Hey.
We've broken through! In the right spot!
Quiet. Stand ready. He killed Vanamar.
And many other mages. I know who he is, Cynthia.
In the same city as Philippa, and you didn't even bother to change your name. That takes balls.
Philippa's out of the picture. She's been arrested.
And I was supposed to die, but I didn't. Grave error.
I'll make you a deal.
Why are you here?
We suspect Henna's laboratory may contain documents and books that could be useful to the Imperial Academy of Science.
That wasn't even close to funny. You're lying.
We don't know what's inside. Henna was a talented man, but also an eccentric.
What do you hope to find?
That's confidential. I cannot tell you. Regardless, we need your help. The laboratory lies beneath the Redanian camp, which we cannot penetrate above ground. We want to get there through the sewers, but can't manage it without a capable swordsman.
You don't get it. You turned Triss into a cold stone. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why I shouldn't turn you into a cold corpse.
She is alive and well. We decompressed her successfully. There were no complications.
And the interrogation after she was decompressed? Because you did interrogate her.
I personally supervised it. We presented the tools, gave her a few bruises, and that sufficed to get her to talk.
Tools? A few bruises? You really don't want to leave this crypt alive.
If we're to die, we'll do so proudly, serving the Emperor. But I think that unlikely. Contrary to what they say, you're no murderer. Triss told me so.
Got anything else to tell me?
Just one thing. I've supervised dozens of interrogations. All subjects talk sooner or later. That's an old truth. Though some resist longer than others. Triss Merigold did not resist at all. She grew pale at the mere sight of the saws, hooks, and needles. She was prepared to talk before the interrogation began.
What did she tell you?
I will not betray the Emperor.
What did Triss tell you?
Please.
Well, well. Another mage. What did she tell you?
I will not betray the Emperor.
I'm no good at interrogating others. Tell me, or I'll cut your hands off.
You seek to intimidate me. Give it a rest.
What did she tell you?
I will not betray the...
We'll come back to that. How can I get into the Nilfgaardian camp?
There's one entrance. Beyond it, a long, heavily guarded corridor. You can't hope to sneak in. Renwald Matson chose the spot specifically to avoid being surprised.
Where are you holding Triss?
At the back of the camp, beneath a ruined building.
You're gonna help me free her?
Not likely. You're better off killing me now. You've no idea what the Emperor's intelligence apparatus does to turncoats.
About that offer. Fine. I'll help you open the laboratory.
In exchange, I'll tell you all I can. Do we have a deal?
Yeah. One more thing.
We made a deal.
I'm even faster with my sword. No tricks.
Are we likely to rappers? Or a related species? Perhaps other monsters?
That is how this world's built. Sewers are infected with monsters. Watch yourself now. Down.
Ever noticed how monster entrails differ completely from human intestines?
That was
Ever
the easy
noticed
part.
how monster
It can only get
entrails
more
differ
difficult
completely
ahead.
from human intestines?
Wonder how many more.
I'm impressed.
I've kept my end of the bargain. Now you get yours.
Sure.
That was the first time I
Have you
saw a
noticed
Witcher in
Adalbert
action.
skulking behind us all the time? There's...
That was the easy part. It can
Ever
only get more
noticed how
difficult
monster
ahead.
entrails
defeated
differ
the Witcher.
greatly from
We
human?
No
did
rats
it!
are running around sewers. What we're looking for, anyway? Some graves, I heard.
Graves? So maybe there is something in this forest.
Shut your traps. Want the sergeant to hear? We've been deep shite. The
We've got company.
Redanian.
The entrance must be somewhere here.
If our experts are to be trusted.
Dehenna dabbled in illusions, among other things.
He also experimented heavily with golems.
Golems with the power of speech, supposedly. They knew nothing of poetry, but...
Will you two shut up?
Yes, it's an illusion. I found a weak spot. Stand back. Later, later Enlorn, Lisa Enlorn, later, dear!
At times I'm caught. You can get my kind of feat. Though I have no needles, they say I am piercing. What am I?
Careful with the answer. It could be a trap.
Typical of Dehenna. He was a genius with a penchant for mischievous jokes, like a child.
So a couple of adults, purported experts, should have no problem solving this.
Indeed, it's trivial. The answer is pain.
Incorrect.
No! Impossible! So many years of research together. Why did we ever embark on this? Imagine the books, the potions. My poor friend. Imagine the books, the potions.
Let's get this over
We
with
must
quickly.
go on.
Poor friend.
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my test.
Can you please
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my test.
Can you please repeat the rip?
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my test.
Can you please
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my test.
What do you think? Just keep it serious this time. We don't need another corpse.
I think it's a feather. Lifted high into the air by the wind, it can appear to fly.
I was a mistress of riddles at the age of 10, but I've never heard of feather money or of fluff being a test of anything. The sun might work.
It appears to fly, can be punishing. It's minted on Nilfgaardian florins, and surviving it in the Korath Desert is a man's ultimate test. Fits nicely. But what if it's death? A metaphor for death.
Master Farid reveals his poetic soul. Touching. Too bad all the solutions are unlikely.
What do you suggest? Time? The Redanian eagle? A toothless vampire? Perhaps the Witcher has a better idea.
Time.
Correct.
It's going rather well so far.
I wager we have a few more of Dehenna's surprises for
I
unwanted
expected a
guests.
greater
to pursue all
challenge. Thus
this.
far we've had but riddles fit for beer enthusiasts.
Someone's been here recently.
Well, well, the competition's here. Kill them!
straight from him. Another guardian. Later, Elorn. Lisa Elorn. Later, dear!
A group of travelers wandering through the dark. 3 guides above them, so 3 were marked. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold.
Did I hear someone complain about the riddles being too easy?
Let's think this through. There are 9 alcoves, a fresco in each. That's 3 groups of 3 frescoes.
The riddle mentions 3 guides above the travelers. We must examine the frescoes, seek answers there.
I'll advise you about the riddle, but I will not take part in disarming the device. I've got a bad feeling about this.
What do you think of the first verse?
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing its own tail, which represents infinity and thus time. The hourglass likewise symbolizes time. In this case, the time of the traveler's journey.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy invariably portray dragons as winged, and as an accomplished alchemist, Gehenna would also be a competent astrologer. The verse must refer to the constellation.
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter, an essential component in the process of alchemical transformation. The verse seems to indicate the allegory illustrating that transformation.
Can someone remind...
The first verse was, "At night they trailed a drake serpentine."
Can someone remind...
The first verse was, "At night they trailed a drake serpentine."
What do you think?
I would say it describes a
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy...
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter, an essential component in...
Can someone remind...
The first verse...
It should...
I shall take that one.
What do you think of this?
To my mind, it speaks of the white rose, symbol of the Order of the Flaming Rose. You see, the fresco itself resembles a coat of arms, and in heraldry, silver is rendered as white. So the Silver Lady and White Rose are one and the same.
I think it describes the full moon. In alchemy, the moon represents both silver as a metal and the feminine element.
The order remains largely unknown in the south, so the White Rose seems unlikely. Every Nilfgaardian, on the other hand, has heard of the Imperial Nausicaa Brigade, which has the Death's Head as its symbol. The brigade's name is female, and they say death follows the unit. So the Silver Lady could very well be Nausicaa or the Death's Head.
Can someone remind me how the line was worded?
As I recall, the second verse was, "A silver lady shining and fine, if only her visage she would deign to unfold."
Can someone remind me how the line was worded?
As I recall, the second verse was, "A silver lady shining and fine, if only her visage she would deign to unfold."
Can someone...
As I recall, the second verse was,
What do you...
To my mind, it speaks of the white rose, symbol of the Order of the Flaming Rose. You see, the fresco...
I think it describes the full moon. In alchemy, the moon represents both silver as a metal and...
The order remains largely unknown in the south, so the white rose seems unlikely. Every Nilfgaardian, on the other hand, has heard of the Imperial Nausicaa Brigade, which has the Death's Head. The brigade's name is female, and they say death follows the unit. So the Silver Lady could very well be Nausicaa or the Death's Head.
To my mind, it speaks of the white rose, symbol...
I think it describes the full moon.
The order remains large. The brigade's name is...
It's the...
Allow.
What do you say?
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains. An ancient rule in alchemy states, as above, so below. The vault is the ravine into which the riches of the mountain flow.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests the Mahakam Mountains and its mines, from which dwarves and gnomes extract many ores that are invaluable to alchemists. Those mountains are a vault in and of themselves.
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue an imprisoned princess or find a long-concealed magic item. The mountain vault is the tower.
Can some...
The third fragment mentioned a mount...
What do you...
It describes the precipice.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests the Mahakam...
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vault.
Can someone...
The third fragment... The third...
What do you...
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains. An ancient rule in alchemy states...
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue an imprisoned princess or find a long-concealed magic item. The mountain vault is the tower.
We must read the third line literally. To me...
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue an
The verse describes the tower, I'm sure. I'll stand next to that fresco. Let's see if we can solve this. Take your places.
Count me out. I want to live.
As you will.
I persuaded Gaspar to pursue all this. I cannot hope to finish the research alone. persuaded Gaspar to pursue.
I wait.
One
We have a
buffoon
few
less.
more of Der Henna's surprises for unwanted visitors ahead.
I expected a greater challenge.
bad about
Thus far,
Gaspar.
we've had but riddles fit for beer enthusiasts. I expected a greater challenge. Thus far, we've had but riddles
We have
fit
a
for
few
beer
more of Der Henna's
enthusiasts.
A group of travelers wandering through the... At night, they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold. A group of travelers wandering through the dark. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold.
What do you...
I would say it describes us.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night.
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter.
Can someone...
The first verse.
What do you think?
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more,
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter.
What do
I would say.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would...
It...
I
think it's the full...
allow...
A group of... At night...
I shall.
What do you...
To my mind, it speaks of the white rose, symbol of the order of the flaming rose. You see,
I think it describes the full moon. In alchemy, the moon represents both silver as a metal and the feminine element.
The order remains largely unknown in the south, so the White Rose. The brigade's name.
Can some...
as I recall...
Can some...
As I recall, the second verse...
What do you...
To my mind...
I think it describes the
The order remains. The brigade's name.
It mu...
allow...
What do you...
We must read the third line literally.
The verse...
Can some...
The third fragment meant
What do you...
it describes.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests
The verse is not literal. In...
The mine... I'll stand...
A group of...
It...
I.
It...
allow...
The mine entrance in the mountainside. That seems... I'll stand next to that fresco. Let's see if we take your...
Count me out.
As... We must try another combination.
Shit, you stink.
A group of travelers. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would
What do you...
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing its own tail, which represents infinity and thus time. The hourglass likewise symbolizes time. In this case, the time of the traveler's journey.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy invariably portray dragon...
In alchemy, the wing...
The first verse was...
What do you...
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing...
I believe...
What...
I believe it's the dragon constellation.
What do you...
To my mind, it speaks of the white robe.
The...
As I...
It...
The third
What do you...
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains. An ancient rule in alchemy.
We must read the...
The verse is...
What do you...
It describes the...
We must read the third line literally.
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue.
It's... I'll... Take...
At night, they trailed a drakes.
I shall take...
Allow...
We must...
The verse is not...
What do you...
It describes the precipice.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests the Mahakam Mountain...
The verse is not literal.
What do you...
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains.
We must...
The verse is...
It's got... I'll stand... Let's take...
Count...
Us.
Intruder detected.
Our expedition has grown thin. Such a shame. I actually found those two amusing.
Shut up.
Of course, my lady.
Too bad about Gaspar. A golem. So Darehenna's legend is true.
It is no more than an obedient machine created to follow orders and kill. Not unlike our Witcher.
So I guess we should get along famously.
You? What do you know about golems?
I don't run into them in every forest, but any good bestiary describes golems at length, and I've read more than my share of those.
Geralt, I'm not questioning your knowledge, but I should be the one to...
Actually, you are questioning my knowledge. Listen, I know what I'm doing. I'll try to get it to reveal the word that'll deactivate it, or I'll just mess with its head. Break the code.
So now we've got a burglar in our midst. Be my guest. Try.
My intentions are good.
As are mine. Know, however, that this may change.
Derhana must have been pretty lonely if he gave you eloquence.
The Master made me a guardian. Nothing less, nothing more. And you, provided you stand there, are a guest.
Powerful magic created you. Derhana was a true master.
He is still, since his mastery survives.
As a conscious being, you must be lonely here.
You are wrong. The pain of the world, melancholy, lies within the domain of emotions and feelings. My thoughts are governed by pure logic, restricted by my program.
But you can learn. They say that a penchant for philosophy can only come from curiosity.
In my case, it comes from the will of the Master, who liked to speak with me.
And do you feel a need to discuss?
I feel nothing. I just have that need.
Can we discuss the program that controls your behavior?
Of course not.
Can I ask you for the name word which brought you to life and which can deactivate you?
Do that, and I shall consider you an intruder.
I have other... Did your creator give you a name?
I'm called obedience and unyielding persistence. I am a guardian and the humblest of servants.
A golem's name is the word that gave it life, and that can take it away. You must have a name.
I own nothing. Everything belongs to my master. How could I divulge the name if I exist solely to protect my creator's property?
Do you...
Of course, I abide by his word, which animates me, lives on, as does his legacy, which I protect. Empires will rise and fall, rivers will shift their courses, but I will remain obedient to one master on my eternal watch.
You're not an automaton. You're self-aware, and you think. You can make decisions.
You're wrong. I am eloquent and can discern between guests and intruders. I can also deal with the latter. But everything I say and do is limited by my restrictive program. By the way, as an automaton, I am immune to all charms. Stop the intruders.
How many more can there be?
Let's have a look. This is...
Nilfgaard, this mission.
Maybe you'll get that promotion.
Derhana mentions some bacteria strains.
I expected a greater challenge. Thus far, we've had but riddles fit for beer enthusiasts.
Derhana Derhenna's notes from a trip he took to Zerrikania. Derhenna describes fine... My medallion's vibrating.
Another masking illusion. I'll try to disperse it. Later en Lorn. Lisa en Lorn. Later, dear!
The device. What is it?
You've done your job. You'll be paid and...
Paid like the scholars were? They died once they were no longer useful.
They were never useful, but Cynthia insisted. Fortunately, they were so kind as to remove themselves without my help.
I'm not about to be that kind.
Yes, Mom.
It's a prototype megascope. I didn't know it had survived.
What's it do?
The artifact detects an emotional bond with a person. Its user need only focus on that person and the device will establish a connection.
Great tool for a spy.
Yes.
Time you fulfilled your end of the bargain. What do you know about my past?
You were a rider of the Wild Hunt. I read the reports.
Don't the Nilfgaardians have anything better to do than write reports about witchers?
Not about witchers. About you. You are the sole person to have been a member of the host, and survived.
Anything else? Any detail you can give me would be useful.
Don't trust Letho.
You think I trust the people I hunt?
He's your foe today, but he wasn't always.
How do you know I knew Letho?
I've read...
The reports, I know. Why are you warning me about him?
Because I like you.
Is there anything to prove I was part of the Wild Hunt?
Nothing. Apart from the fact that Nilfgaardian intelligence agents are drawn and quartered for lying in their reports.
An enlightened nation indeed.
You haven't the faintest notion how many people are interested in you. Very important people.
Just because I survived?
You're a former rider of the Hunt, and you live. You may be the key to solving the mystery of the retinue, and they all know that. You must watch out for yourself.
Let's say you've satisfied my curiosity.
Well then, consider me glad to have satisfied a witcher, whatever the way.
I'd like to try out the device.
You realize that can only end badly.
Cut in again and I'll put you in my report. You may use it, but just once.
Giving state secrets away to a Nordling. Will you mention that in your report?
You're sure to be named a commander one day, Adalbert. But until that happens, be a good boy and do your job.
Article 22 of the Code is clear. Suspicion of treason is sufficient grounds to strip a commander of power. Article 1 of my personal code is equally clear. Traitors must be subjected to the most painful death possible.
Multiplication. Second year at the academy, all mages learn it.
I didn't expect you to take my side.
Well, now choose one person you wish to contact. After that, the artifact's mine.
Is there anything to prove I was part of the Wild Hunt?
Nothing. Apart... You haven't the faint...
Just...
You're... And they...
How do you...
I've read...
The report...
Because I...
Let's say...
Well then...
Nilfgaardian agents get quartered for lying in reports. What does the Empire do to agents who kill their colleagues?
Nothing. As long as no one finds out.
Will we meet again?
I wouldn't mind at all.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't eavesdrop while I eavesdropped.
I shan't trouble you. I have a lot of work to do here.
Your move, sire?
Yes. You see, Card...
I hope you learn... It's
I understand. For a spy. The divine. You pay.
Yeah.
It's... Yeah.
I was...
You were sure?
I was...
Your payment...
I wonder where...
Who knows?
One buffoon less.
The device. You've paid like...
They were never useful, but...
I'm not a...
Adelbert.
Yes.
It's a
What's it?
The artifact.
Great.
Yeah.
Time you fulfill...
You were right.
Don't the...
Not about...
You fulfilled your end of the bargain.
As have you...
Take your coin.
I'll take the...
That is not...
Because I...
And now you...
Calm down, both...
They're due.
So our mutant is also a patriot.
Back away.
Life is a string of choices. And you have just chosen suicide.
Too bad about Gaspard.
The divine...
You've... Yes.
It's a The... Yeah.
Time...
You were...
Don't the Nilfgaard...
He's... You're... And they...
Let's say
Well,
you've
then.
satisfied my curiosity. I'd like to try out the device.
You realize that can only end badly.
Cut in again and I'll put you in my report. You may use it, but just once.
Giving state secrets away to a Nordling. Will you mention that in your report?
You're sure to be named a commander one day, Adelbert. But until that happens, be a good boy and do your job.
Article 22 of the Code is clear. Suspicion of treason is sufficient grounds to strip a commander of power. Article 1 of my personal code is equally clear. Traitors must be subjected to the most painful death possible.
Multiplication?
I didn't...
Well, now choose...
How do you... Nilfgaardian agents get quartered for lying in reports. What does the Empire do to agents who kill their colleagues?
Nothing. As long as no one finds out.
Will we meet again?
I wouldn't mind at all. Look for me at the inn.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't eavesdrop while I eavesdropped.
I shan't trouble you. I've a lot of work to do here.
Your fate is in your hands, sorceress.
My fate? You haven't asked a single question about me.
Yet it is all up to you. Your situation is a comfortable one. Do not squander your chance. So, wish to tell me anything?
I'm a sorceress, an advisor to the King of Temeria. Ah!
I believe we agreed you would speak only of things I do not know about.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the artifact a few more times.
Its power has been depleted.
I understand.
I wish I could have a few more of death. I didn't know it had survived.
What's it?
The artifact.
Great.
Yeah.
Time you
You were a rider.
Don't the...
Not about wit.
You give up.
Multiplication?
I didn't
No.
I'd appreciate...
I shan't trouble.
We've been following the Witcher for several days. I know now he's fully on Jorved's side. Should I terminate them?
Constable Natalis thinks it unnecessary. Your orders are to cross the Yaruga with your men.
Why?
Natalis suspects the Emperor has amassed large forces on the southern bank, near the border. Verify this.
Yes, sir.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the art. And the divine. Time.
You were a
Don't.
not a.
You give our.
I didn't expect that. I didn't.
Well, now choose.
I'd appreciate.
I shan't.
Tell me again. I find it arousing.
Well, Geralt and I went to Vergen, where my dear friend immediately got into all sorts of trouble. Kiss me here. Good. And since it's widely known you can't abandon a friend in need, I helped him. Now here. Not there. There. Good. Ah, the adventures we had. We presided over Prince Stennis' trial.
Really?
Then Geralt had to fight his way through a mist of wraiths.
And you?
I had another mission, just as important. But you can't expect me to tell you everything now. I have a ballad to compose about it. Now kiss me here. Really put your lips into it. Oh, yeah.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the artifact a few more times.
Its power has been
And the divine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't.
Not a. Cut. You may.
Giving states.
You.
I didn't expect.
Now.
I made sure we'd have a trustworthy cook while in Lochmuin. I'll not allow anyone to slip poison into your goblet here.
I cannot sit here and eat in peace while Philippa rots in a dungeon.
Regardless of Philippa's whereabouts and predicament, you must behave as befits a queen.
Does that rule out caring for my friends?
Philippa will manage. And even should she fail, I'm sure her final wish would be that we follow through with the plan. So eat. You must be at full strength during the summit. A very important task awaits you.
I hope you...
understand. The divine. Hey,
They want.
Adel. It's a.
What's it?
The.
Great. Time you.
You were.
Don't.
Not a.
I'd like you.
Give.
I didn't expect.
Multiplication?
I didn't.
Well, no.
I'd.
Your move, sire?
Yes. You see, Cardwin, I like it when it's my move. And as you have rightly noticed, Mage, that time has come.
The situation on the board favors you, sire.
Indeed. The pieces are arrayed just as I wanted.
My queen is at a disadvantage.
That's putting it lightly. She is cornered. Moreover, you must sacrifice your rook, and your knight cannot possibly block my bishop. In other words, checkmate, Cardwin.
I hope, sire, that the talks in Lochmuin play out as our game did.
I have done everything in my power to position my pawns correctly. I'll know in time who to pin down.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the artifact a few more times.
Its power has been depleted.
I understand. Thanks anyway. From a mutation procedure manual. Operation Procedure Manual.
Ah. Nothing special.
You lose.
Let me guess.
Behold, the mighty Numa.
Wait.
The mighty Numa. His secret lies in the mushrooms and herbs.
Artyom. Oh, it's a lovely day today.
So, are you a sorceress now?
It's not that simple. A pass is simply not enough. But Philippa Eilhart summoned me here for an important exam, so I hope to be one soon.
An exam?
A secret one. I'm not even sure how to prepare. I'm cramming intensely, everything bit by bit, just to be sure.
Good luck. Still willing to sell me potions and herbs?
I'm a student, aren't I? Every little copper counts.
I'm collecting information.
The Wild Hunt. A retinue of wraiths who speed across the heavens upon skeletal horses. Positive proof of its existence has yet to be proffered. However, no one is prepared to deny its occasional sorties into this world.
Proffered? Sorties?
That, at least, is what I remember from the lectures.
How are things?
You're either very unobserved. I thought I'd meet some of my colleagues from years past, chat with them and reminisce, but they all turned.
Mate,
you're telling me. They threw me out of Bannard the first chance they got. Must have beaten the Chancellor one. They've all forgotten me, and I believe I've had enough. I'm getting rid of the grimoires and amulets. I don't want anything to do with mages.
I'd like to cast an eye at those if you don't mind.
Sure.
Anything?
I'd avoid the topic altogether. Nothing good has ever come to those who have delved.
I'll take my chances. I need to know why the wraiths carry off youths. What happens to them?
This knowledge has never been recorded, which does not mean it cannot be acquired.
Well, I'd like to acquire it.
In the chasms beneath Loch Muin, there is a sword that once belonged to an elf from the parallel world.
And nobody's gone to look for it?
There are mages who seek it still, but the sword is well concealed. They say he who handles it will understand the essence of the wild hunt. Could that be true, though?
Renounce magic, I tell you! Shatter your towers and crystal walls!
It's a brazen attack. King Radovid will learn of this.
Radovid sent them, you idiot!
The audacity!
Pull yourself together!
Greetings.
Greetings. Oh my.
Greetings. Nice.
Many thanks for the compliment. Welcome to the Eternal Fire.
Kitchen open day and night?
It's not that kind of fire. The Eternal Fire is the light of truth, the hearth of a true community. Only in the Eternal Fire beneath the sign of this clan can we burn witches all day, and man is fellow man.
This would never happen if the conclave...
And if Grandma had a moustache, she'd be a catfish.
We must protest with all our power.
Oh, shut up.
Where is Philippa? She should reason with this brat. She should pull down his pants and give him a thrashing in front of all those...
I'm afraid she's lost that option forever. Leave me alone!
We need to talk.
Of course.
That was an interesting adventure, Cynthia.
Yes. People bond over experiences like that.
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder what happened back in Vergen. Did you get your promotion?
Not yet. But His Imperial Majesty rewards dedication.
Can he discern the truth from lies?
What do you mean?
I take it the Emperor has no idea his sorceress helped a mutant kill a Nilfgaardian mage.
It was a dangerous expedition. Casualties were inevitable. He'll content himself with that.
Got time to talk? Or are you off on another dangerous mission?
Even we Nilfgaardian agents rest sometimes.
Used the artifact yet?
I'm working on improving it. I think it'll be useful one day.
I found some of Derhenna's notes. He studied the history of the Vrans, right?
Among other things.
He makes several mentions of an epidemic.
Loch Muin conceals many more secrets than we imagined. I doubt we'll ever know all of them.
Well, if Derhenna's to be trusted, the epidemic had something to do with the Enshe. Maybe the Vrans caught the disease from the elves.
I'm no expert on diseases, Witcher. Who knows? Perhaps Derhenna was right, and the decline of Vrani civilization was much darker and more sudden than we thought.
You knew what we'd find in that laboratory.
Come again?
You wanted the bacteria strains that killed the Vrans, or more precisely, Derhenna's notes from his research into them.
This is very dangerous knowledge.
I suspect that's exactly why the Emperor is so interested.
The North is in chaos. An epidemic is the last thing you need. And one could break out if Derhenna's book fell into the wrong hands.
Fortunately, it's now in the right hands. In Emir's civilized and manicured hands.
Precisely.
I'm finding it hard to believe anything you say.
Did you come here to insult me?
No. Sorry.
What exactly do you want?
I was curious. I wanted to see which Cynthia I'd meet this time. The spy, the sorceress, or maybe the woman.
Which were you hoping to meet?
The real one.
Let's assume you're speaking to her. How do you like her?
Let's say I like her quite a bit.
Compliments are clearly not your forte.
I just told you why I've come. Care to tell me why you invited me?
Let's say I was interested to see which Geralt would show up.
And? minstrels got it right. Women of the South are both passionate and clever.
I like to improvise.
Yeah, I noticed. Farewell, Cynthia.
Verfail.
You had me fooled back in Vergen. That sweet face of yours. Never suspected it could belong to someone who fanatically believes in conquering the North.
Mock me if you must. But I truly believe one huge empire is humanity's only hope. Many nations under one crown, with shared laws, advanced science, burgeoning industry and trade, and no wars, of course.
Sounds great. Let me know when it works out. I'd gladly spend my old age in a land like that. These ruins must hold many secrets.
I'm certain of that. It was a beautiful city. A city full of talent and hope. But that ill ended with the coming of the Nordling armies.
Think the city would have survived if those armies had been Imperial?
Your king started the war with the Enshe. Nilfgaard's relations with the elves have always been peaceful.
They really did a job on your brain. That was an interesting adventure, Cynthia.
Yes. People bond over experiences like that.
Yeah, kinda makes you wonder what happened back in Vergen.
I'm working on...
It's a brazen attack. King Radovid will learn of this.
Radovid sent them, you idiot!
The audacity!
Pull yourself together!
That was an interesting adventure, Cynthia.
Yes. People bond over experiences like that.
Yeah, kinda makes you wonder what happened.
Renounce magic, I tell you! Shatter your towers and crystal balls! Break your wands and burn your hats! Turn away the black cat! And the bat! And the rat! Likewise, the frog.